Well, Michael Jordan celebrated his 33rd birthday yesterday. Actually had an early celebration this past week at a fundraiser for the homeless at his restaurant in Chicago. Nice cake also, it should be pointed out. We talked to Michael earlier about his 33rd.
No, I'm just happy to be here. You know, last year, my birthday time, I was throwing baseballs in Sarasota. So I'm very happy to be back to basketball. And it was really sad that I couldn't be with my family yesterday. I talked to them quite a bit on the phone. And I'm looking forward to getting home and spending time with my wife and kids. I guess I celebrate my birthday tonight.
Well, we asked Michael how did he spend his 33rd birthday in Indianapolis at the hotel last night. He said watching a lot of movies. That SpectraVision bill was really impressive this morning.
What do you give Michael Jordan for his birthday?
One on the shot clock with 6:51 remaining in the first quarter. Too late. 24-second violation. The Pacers with a 15-7 lead over the Bulls. Phil Jackson going with the front line of Wennington, Rodman, and Pippen. Hopper and Jordan in the backcourt. Open shot for Wennington. Rebounded by Rodman. Here's Pippen for three. And Miller collars the rebound.
Well, even though they came up empty, that's a pretty good example of the Bulls offense. They get a good reversal, get a good shot, get the defense moving, and that's how Dennis Rodman can get those easy offensive rebounds and get another shot opportunity.
Bulls opening up with Jordan for the most part going against Jackson, but we'll see the matchup against Miller. Farrell not able to hit. Davis. Dale Davis with his second field goal. Pacers 17, the Bulls 7.
And Dale Davis at 6'11" with unusually long arms is the kind of big forward that can give Rodman problems by able to reach over.
Rodman gives it back to Jordan. Pippen, and that's his first field goal. Scottie Pippen missing his first 4-shot attempts. Indiana leading 17-9. Smith's off a pretty feed from Jackson. Back comes Jordan. Has Hopper with him, but the Pacers able to retreat. Michael had a notion to try to split through, but could not. Played very tough by Jackson. The alley-oop for Jordan. Beautiful pass from Rodman.
Well, Larry Brown said he wanted the Pacers to put more pressure on the ball. He didn't care who it was, Jordan, Pippen, whoever. They did that. Michael finally gave it up, and then the perfect feed from Rodman on the alley-oop.
How's that for a recovery on a sequence where Jordan seemed to be snuffed out, but kept going, went to the hoop, and Rodman ready. Crowd reacting to the shot by Smith. Wennington was open. Goes at Smith, and no foul call.
Wow, that had to be something, or it appeared to be, unless the officials ruling that Rick Smith was too far underneath the basket for it to be a charge, and maybe a good non-call by the officials there, but there was definitely contact as Wennington initiated it.
6-0 run by Chicago. Miller tried to step back, but could not get position for the jumper. Here's Farrell. So the Pacers lead the Bulls 19-13 as we come up on 4 minutes remaining first quarter. Jordan firing, and Smith with the box out. Jackson stopped by Hopper. Nice move by Jackson around Hopper. And back comes Hopper. 3-on-1. Jordan. Oh, with the ball back to get it back to Hopper. What a play by Michael Jordan.
Wow, what a whiplash job there for Reggie Miller. His neck almost spun around like the Exorcist there as Michael gave a little show and tell.
That is a new one out of the arsenal. We have not seen that in a while off the 2-on-1 break. Foul is called. Wellington collecting his third.
Well, Michael coming down, bearing down on Reggie Miller, and on that ball fake, just a little look right, and then the easy feed to Ron Harper. And here's the alley-oop from Dennis Rodman after Michael had been double-teamed, did the wise thing, gave the ball up, and made the hard cut to the basket.
Actually, Michael's celebrating his 33rd birthday this afternoon here at Market Square. Rick Smits back to the line. He's 2 of 4 at the line. Wellington sitting down after picking up his third, and James Edwards has come on in his 19th NBA season. He's 40 years old. He missed 21 games earlier in the year with a sprained back injury. James Edwards, a guy who's played for 8 different NBA teams, has a couple of championship rings as a member of the Detroit Pistons.
Well, they call him Buddha. He's not going to do a lot of things defensively, but he still has that little fadeaway jumper from the post.
Jordan turning it on here in the first quarter. He has 9 points and several extraordinary moves. Indiana by 4. Here's Ricky Pierce, who just checked in. Oh, it's tipped home. Looks like Dale Davis got a piece of it. 23-17 Indiana. Here is Jordan drawing the foul.
Well, one of the Jordan rules is don't ever give Michael baseline, because you just can't get there quickly enough to try to stop him. And there's an example of the reason why nobody home as Michael throws it down.
Well, the Indiana Pacers are one of the 5 teams to have beaten the Bulls this season. Rick Smits led Indiana with 26 points as they defeated Chicago here at Market Square last December. Now that snapped a 13-game Bulls win streak. The other Bulls losses this season to Orlando, Seattle, Denver, and Phoenix. Indiana here at home 19-4. They had won 17 straight, but lost to the Nets here last Tuesday night. So 19 up and 4 down here at Market Square. The road record, though, 13-14, something Larry Brown would like to improve on. Michael Jordan has taken over in this first quarter, although his club is trailing by 6. 9 points, 3 assists, and 2 blocked shots by Jordan, who has done it in spectacular fashion.
Well, Michael seems to have an idea coming into most ball games. He knows he's going to get his 22, 23 shots a game up. He's going to take a lot of jump shots, even when he goes in the post. He's going to take that little fadeaway jump shot. But with the Bulls getting behind by 10 early, he goes into a different mode. He wants to get his team back into the ball game very quickly, and then he is more aggressive as far as taking the ball to the basket, and that's what we've seen in this first quarter.
Eddie Johnson has checked in for the Pacers, sent out in Indiana's previous game against the Bullets because of a sore back. Here's pressure by Chicago. Antonio Davis also on the floor. Ricky Pierce trying to get it to Antonio Davis. Jordan with Rodman with the pull-up. Yes. 23-21 Indiana. Michael Jordan with 13 of Chicago's 21 points.
And you just can't afford, if you're the Indiana Pacers, to make those kinds of mistakes. 36-year-old Ricky Pierce jumping in the air, not knowing what he's going to do with the ball. He turned it over.
Antonio Davis looking for position. Dennis Rodman with rebound number 6, and Tony Kukoc handles for the first time. Backing Johnson. Kukoc with the baby hook and rebounded by Adrian Caldwell. Here comes Jackson pushing down and dumps it off, but Hugh Evans with the whistle along the baseline. And James Edwards is upset. Foul called on Edwards.
James Edwards is first.
Well, Michael Jordan taking the ball to the basket, that's going to make these jump shots a lot easier here. Just eyeballing his defender, making Mark Jackson back up, and taking the easy little 15-foot jump shot. So I was a little surprised that Tony Kukoc, just coming into the ball game, tattooed that ball about 6 or 7 dribbles, trying to get his own shot instead of maybe getting the ball moved around a little bit and go to the hot hand, Michael Jordan.
Larry Brown has been saying good things about the rookie from Georgia Tech, Travis Best, who's been getting the playing time. He's just checked in. A nice move by Antonio Davis. Pacers lead 25-21. 1:45 left in the first, and it is Jordan guarded by Pierce. Dickie Simpkins has come on for Chicago for the first time. He just cleared out for Jordan, who goes to the fadeaway. And the rebound handled by Best. He can run the floor. Best for Johnson. Antonio Davis draws the foul. It's on Simpkins. Oh, Dickie Simpkins called for his first. And Antonio Davis to the line.
Well, the other night in Baltimore against the Washington Bullets, Antonio Davis getting shut out from the field, which has only happened 2 times this year, as he has been a very consistent performer off the bench for the Pacers. But he's bothered by a sore shoulder. A number of the Pacers have a lot of nagging injuries, which Larry Brown and the Pacer training staff very much concerned about, but everybody seems to be able to play with these injuries right now.
Antonio Davis, a 68% free throw shooter. Indiana has led all the way. They have led by as many as 10. They opened up leading 12-2, 14-4, and now up by 6 with a minute 15 remaining in this first quarter. Marv Albert with Matt Kukas and the dean, Ahmad Rashad. Kukoc with the opening. On the back tap, kept alive. Jordan met by Pierce, and again they clear out for Michael. Rebounded by Johnson. Here's Best. Best with a beautiful hesitation move to draw the foul, and the crowd loves it as Jordan collects his first.
Well, you can see the live body and the quick feet of Travis Best coming at you in the open floor. And throughout the course of this season so far, Michael has had his problems with some of these smaller, quicker guards, like a Damon Stoudemire. In fact, the Pacers compared Travis Best very favorably to Damon Stoudemire, thinking that if he were with the Toronto Raptors or with a team that he could get a lot of minutes, that he could put up a lot of those same numbers. So you wonder why they don't play him more, so he could do what Stoudemire's doing. But right now, Haywood Workman is the odd man out at this particular point in the season, and Larry's been going more and more to Best as the backup to Mark Jackson.
There's Haywood Workman, who's been a vital player in recent years for the Indiana Pacers. Jordan sitting down, getting a rest, replaced by Hoffer. 6-0 run by Indiana, and they lead by 8 points. Kukoc off the hesitation. Beautiful pass for Hoffer. Tony Kukoc setting up. 29-23 Indiana. Phil Jackson, with both Pippen and Jordan sitting down, actually handing the club over to Kukoc, and he'll be quarterbacking the team. Pierce not able to hit. Rodman on the rebound. Here comes Kerr, setting up Hoffer. Hoffer again. 29-25 Indiana.
Marv, you mentioned that both Michael and Scotty on the bench. You're not going to see that too often in the body of most games, but in their absence, Tony Kukoc has done a nice job of directing traffic.
That was Best, #1 draft pick of the Pacers out of Georgia Tech, looking to set up for a last shot. Took too much time. So after one, here in Indianapolis, it's the Pacers 29 and the Bulls 25. A remarkable performance by Michael Jordan in this opening quarter, as he showed us the entire repertoire. We'll be back at Market Square in a moment.
This is the NBA on NBC.
On to the second quarter. Indiana leads by 4. Now, the Pacers have had a number of quality wins this season, but they have also lost to sub-500 teams, although the Nets are certainly playing very well as of late. Nets swept the home-and-home earlier this week. We talked with Mark Jackson and asked why the problems against some of the lesser clubs.
The way to explain it is, when you look at the Bulls, they come out with an attitude against weaker or lesser teams. No disrespect to them, but they're not supposed to beat them. And we come into a ball game at times, we can dominate those teams, but there are a lot of times, and too many times this season, that you come into the game and you just let the game set its own pace. You allow the weaker or lesser teams to get a flow.
Well, those last 3 losses in February due to just lazy defense on the part of the Pacers, very careless with the ball, poor execution, and the team just seeming to lack a lot of emotion and fire, and the Pacers just can't play that way.
Caldwell for Pierce. Second quarter just getting underway, and Ricky Pierce with the bucket and the foul. For Pierce, his first field goal, and he's headed to the line.
Well, Larry Brown has been saying he still can't figure out how to use Eddie Johnson and Ricky Pierce. He doesn't feel he can use them together, although they're in there now playing with one another. Ricky Pierce still, even at his advanced age of 36, able to do it one-on-one and get his own shot. And we talked about Pippen and Jordan not being on the floor for a while there, with no Reggie Miller and no Rick Smits, as they both wait at the scorer's table.
Talking about the lack of fire on the part of the Pacers in certain games. This is, in recent years, been a club that seems to play better or turn it on come playoff time. And you got the idea Larry Brown feels that about Reggie Miller. He'd like to see more fire from Reggie during the regular season. Caldwell called for the foul. The basket does not count.
Well, so many people make an issue of the fact that Reggie Miller only takes about 13 shots a game during the regular season. During the playoffs, that gets up in the 18, 19, 20 area on a regular basis. But Reggie Miller likes to let the other players get involved and play. And Larry Brown doesn't want Reggie Miller just taking jump shots. He wants him to be more aggressive, taking the ball to the basket, draw fouls, create plays for his teammates.
Reggie Miller back on the floor. Edwards to the fadeaway for an air ball. And here comes Best, stopped by Harper. It's a blocking foul. Harper reaching in, trying to knock it away. That is his second personal.
Well, Ron Harper not happy with that call. He felt he was waiting there in plenty of time, and Phil Jackson, Tex Winter, and Jimmy Rogers all up off the bench. And it did appear that Harper was there in plenty of time to take that charge from the rookie Best.
7-point lead for the Pacers. Best to the reverse and took a shot on the top of the head. Indiana 34 and Chicago 25 with a minute and a half gone by in the second quarter. Kukoc. Smits with the rebound. Here's Best running the floor, delivering to Johnson. Rebound Harper, pitches down. Pacers get back. Kukoc gives it back out. Kerr is fouled. The hand check foul called on Best.
Well, Steve Kerr has a difficult time in most defensive situations, but especially against a quick little water bug like Travis Best, just able to get by and into the teeth of the defense. And then at the other end, Steve Kerr banged his already sore foot. Had an MRI. They thought he had a stress fracture, but it's just a sprain, and he hasn't missed a game.
Harper. A friendly rim. Ron Harper is hit forward on the steal. Pippen foul. Blocked by Smits.
Well, for years and years, this is where Michael Jordan has been so dangerous in the backcourt, able to steal the ball. Scottie Pippen doing the same thing.
Timeout called by Larry Brown. You are watching the NBA on NBC.
Well, the casual one-hand inbound pass will get you into trouble against the Chicago Bulls with Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen around. They read it beautifully here. Pippen picks it off easily and then challenges Rick Smits to the rim.
2 minutes gone by in the second quarter. Chicago only 11 of 28 from the field. Scottie Pippen just 1 of 5 here at the start. Indiana 50% shooting. Wayne Farrell back, coming on for the veteran Eddie Johnson. Michael Jordan back on the floor. So the Bulls with Edwards at the center position. along with Rodman and Pippen on the front line, and Kerr and Jordan in the backcourt, and Chicago goes to its pressure.
And when they do get matched up man-to-man, now we'll see Jordan and Reggie Miller. Reggie Miller only 2 shots in this ballgame, both of them taken in the first minute of the game.
Michael Jordan, 13 points in the first quarter. Smits on the head fake. 10 points for Rick Smits. Pacers by 7. Now the matchup is Miller defending against Jordan. Best playing Kerr. Edwards lost it, but deflected out by Smits.
Well, this particular sequence, Scottie Pippen picking up Reggie Miller at the defensive end, coming out of that trap situation. And Scottie senses that Reggie Miller has not yet gotten involved offensively and doesn't want to let him get off. You have to stay and know where Reggie Miller is at all times.
Mark Jackson, Dale Davis replaced Travis Best, and Antonio Davis 10 on the shot clock for the Bulls. Kerr not able to locate a shot. Down to 2, down to 1, and it's picked off. Farrell. Jackson looking for Smits, is being pushed off the blocks by Edwards. Jordan over to help, leaving Jackson free for the 3. And rebounded by Pippen. Jordan posting. Jordan, yes. Pacers 36, the Bulls 31.
Well, that time a good read between Jordan and Pippen on the post-up of Mark Jackson. They had it on the play before, didn't recognize it. This time Michael got it, threw it back out, reestablished. And, of course, the Bulls, anytime they get that matchup, would want to go to it with Michael against Mark Jackson.
The play by Kerr helping out. And as Jordan tried to get position, was hit from behind by Jackson.
Well, usually the matchup is going to be Jordan watching Mark Jackson, and that's why Jackson had to pick up Michael Jordan in transition. Nobody able to come over and help, and then just the patience of the Chicago Bulls. They're not hurrying on this particular occasion. Very patient, get the ball back out, and right into Michael for an easy turnaround.
And now Jordan fielding for Miller. Jordan is now 5 on 11. Steve Kerr broke it up. Miller on the recovery. A nice touch by Dwayne Farrell. His second field goal. Indiana leads 38-31. Chicago Bulls at 45-5, the best record in the NBA. They have won their last 4 after the 2 losses, preceded by 18 straight wins. Jordan on the foul, booting Smits to the loose ball, and then just flips it to the official, Hugh Evans.
Well, a couple of mistakes there. Reggie Miller, after he challenged that shot, took himself out of the play. You have to keep body contact on Michael Jordan, and then Smits just ushered him to the basket.
Reggie from way out. As you mentioned, he's having trouble locating shots, so fire that one from area code range.
And that's a force, really. Reggie does his best work by coming off screens or having another player penetrate and kick out to him where he can shoot the ball in rhythm.
Mark Jackson looking for help, waving for help. Edwards lost it. And the officials now saying jump ball. The question is, did Edwards deflect it out, or was it batted out by the Pacers? And apparently they're undecided. Bernie Fryer looking for help from Hugh Evans. Phil Jackson upset. A timeout is called. We have not received the official word on the call. This is what they're discussing. Let's take another look at it.
Well, James Edwards underneath the basket trying to go up for this shot here actually got hacked, and they just have to decide whether it was off Edwards or off the Pacers. We'll find.
Well, as we were going to commercial, a dispute on this play. Who touched it last? They're calling it a jump ball.
Well, nobody really touched it. It was a hack on the part of Dwayne Farrell on Edwards here. But the underneath official, Hugh Evans, didn't have a call. Looked for help from Bernie Fryer, who didn't see anything. So they're going to have a jump ball situation as Phil Jackson trying to get things straightened out with the official. But Bernie Fryer came over and explained exactly what happened. Nobody saw the play, but it was a foul on Farrell.
Pacers 38 and the Bulls 33 with 6:44 remaining in this first half. Phil Jackson still upset because he felt that there should have been a foul call. Pacers thought that it was last touched by Edwards. And Indiana controlling. Reggie Miller with only 3 shot attempts. Michael Jordan 6 of 13 from the field. However, 1 of 7 from the outside. Miller was drifting along the baseline looking for a pass. Here's Farrell. Oh, the save by Rodman. And it's Rodman with rebound number 8. Kukoc. And Dale Davis reaching for it. Jackson for Farrell. It counts. And the foul. Oh, Kukoc upset. Tony Kukoc screaming at the official, Bernie Fryer, and he's called for a technical.
We have a technical foul number 7, Tony Kukoc.
And Tony Kukoc, extremely upset, was ushered aside by Scottie Pippen.
And he will not be denied. He still wants a piece of Bernie Fryer. Took off the sweatband, threw it on the floor. As Tony, in some respects, has played with a lot of frustration this year, despite the fabulous record of the Chicago Bulls at 45-5. He's still a little bit upset with the amount of minutes that he's getting. And here is why he is upset. The bottom part of your screen, Tony is being held by Dwayne Farrell, who spun him out of the play and actually catapulted himself, did Farrell, into the 2-on-1 fast break situation. And of course, Tony Kukoc had a legitimate break there, but the officials just didn't see it. Everybody with their eyes up.
The personal foul was called on Rodman. And the technical on Kukoc for the response. 41-33. Indiana, just under 6 minutes left. First half. Pippen. Yes. And counts. Scottie Pippen. With only a second field goal, he'll go to the line. Bulls are showing some signs. Once again, they made the good run late first quarter, sparked by Jordan. Here they come again. Rick Smits picked up the foul.
Well, this is what I would call a nightmare lineup if you're the other team playing the Chicago Bulls. You've got Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and Tony Kukoc. No small player, so a guy like Mark Jackson has to guard Michael Jordan in this situation. And right now, the Bulls starting to take control of this game.
Beautiful back tap by Rodman. Edwards. Blocked by Smits, but a foul. And that is number 3 on Rick Smits.
Rick Smits is third personal.
And Rick Smits always in danger of picking up the little nickel dime foul. Larry Brown will get him out of there right away, as he really had Buddha, James Edwards, under wraps here, just trying to make him take a tough shot. He looked like he got a lot of ball on the play, and he argued with the official about it. And ball, and I should say the hand is part of the ball. Tough break on that play by Rick Smits.
Antonio Davis back in. Rick Smits will sit down. Third foul for Smits. So the Pacers with a 6-point lead. Eric McKee back on the floor. Shot clock at 5. A forced shot by Dale Davis. And Pippen spinning. Lost his footing. Oh, he hurt himself. Scottie trying to walk it off. They double up on Edwards. He's able to find Kukoc. Jordan for 3. And back comes Jackson. Oh, what a by McKee and fouled by Jordan. And a nice response from Michael Jordan, who realized how badly he was beaten and then came over.
Well, we talk about not letting the Jordans and the Pippins of the world go baseline because they can hurt you. Here's a 36-year-old player, Eddie Johnson, who just blows by Michael Jordan on that baseline. I'm sorry, I said a lot younger, Derek McKee. I thought it was Eddie Johnson. But Derek McKee is the guy that the Bulls want to take that outside shot and not give any kind of driving lane to, baseline or middle.
Timeout is called with 4:54 left in the first half.
Coming up on the Prudential Halftime Report, we'll bring you my conversation with Phil Jackson. He talks about Dennis Rodman, the referees, and his contract status. And we'll hear from Julius Erving and Peter Vesey on the first half of today's game, which the Pacers lead by 6, as we return to Market Square to rejoin Marv, Matt, and Ahmad.
All right, Bob. A moment ago, Scottie Pippen appeared to injure his knee. See a shot of Scottie on the bench. Let's check in with Ahmad Rashad. Ahmad?
Well, Marv, I just talked with Scottie a moment ago, and it's actually a scab that he has on his knee that keeps breaking back open. And I guess he broke it open right there as his knee hit the ground. So what they did was just put a Band-Aid on it and wrapped it up so there would be no excess blood. Marv?
All right, we have 4:54 remaining in this first half. Derek McKee, who has been very quiet this afternoon at the line. Chicago Bulls with Dickie Simpkins now up front, along with Dennis Rodman and Scottie Pippen, Steve Kerr, Michael Jordan in the backcourt. So going to the smaller lineup with James Edwards sitting down. Dennis Rodman, who is an excellent passer, playing the high post. Shot clock down to 2. It's down to 1. Pippen for 3. And it comes to Jordan. Pippen faking the backdoor pass. And the tip by Rodman. That is his first field goal, his first shot attempt. And the Pacer lead is now 4. 10 rebounds for Dennis Rodman.
Well, with Rick Smits on the bench right now with 3 personal fouls, the Pacers have to manufacture some offense. It's got to come from Reggie Miller, Derek McKee.
And the foul on Simpkins. Let's get back to Ahmad.
You know, I was talking to Michael just earlier today, and he was talking about his team struggling. He said that even though we're 45-5, there have been too many games that we'd had to pull out in the fourth quarter. He feels like that they have not established any consistency. As you can see here today, that seems to be bothering him again. Marv?
Well, Michael Jordan, 6 of 14, has not been hitting the outside shot. 17 points in all. In fact, he is 1 of 8 from the perimeter.
And the big problem for the Bulls so far this afternoon, they're not getting anything at all from their bench. The bench has not scored yet, and the Indiana bench has chipped in with 17 points.
Jordan off the fake around McKee and tipped home by Pippen. So it is Indiana with a 4-point lead.
Well, Indiana got off to a good start in this ballgame because of their offensive board work, and now the Bulls inch closer and closer because of Rodman and Pippen off the glass.
22nd timeout is taken. Another look at the fake by Jordan.
Well, anytime there's penetration into the defense and people trying to block shots, that's when the defense is going to get out of whack and get out of position. And if you don't put a body on people, this is when you will get rebounding opportunities, as Pippen did a good job preparing to get Reggie Miller on his back and go up for that finish.
Larry Brown telling us yesterday that he is looking for someone to step up as a shot blocker, or at least affect shots. Indiana averages 4 blocks per game. That is tied for 23rd in the NBA, and they like to see Smits improve in that department, at least contesting shots. Is that something that can be improved at this stage?
Well, what Larry is saying, he's not, as you said, Mark, not so much concerned with the actual block, but they've got a big front line with the Davises and Smits. Change shots, that'll be just as effective.
Miller pumping that one up and driving across the lane. Last touch, though, by the Bulls. So Miller with only his 4th shot attempt. He is 2 out of 4 from the field. The Bulls have done a very good job defensively on Miller. Jordan has not allowed him any room. Coming up on 3 minutes remaining in the half. Antonio Davis. Nice move for his second field goal. He has 6 points. Pacers 45 and the Bulls 39. And you can see the differential off the bench, 19-zip in favor of Indiana. Jordan with a series of fakes, giving it up. Pippen for 3. Scottie Pippen with 11 points, and it brings the Bulls within 3. And Chicago looking for the downtown shot. They were 12 of 24 the other night of the win at Minnesota. 4 apiece for Pippen, Jordan, and Kerr. Antonio Davis feeling it. It counts, and the foul. Foul committed by Simpkins.
And Dickey is having his problems defensively right now. Antonio Davis, a much improved inside post player, and playing with a great deal of confidence against Dickey Simpkins right now. He feels every time he catches the ball he can score. And now Phil Jackson has made the adjustment, getting Simpkins out of there, and coming in with Tony Kukoc, who was furious before on that play where he was grabbed and held and picked up the technical.
Dickey Simpkins, a second-year man from Providence, #1 draft pick of the Bulls last season. Pacers 47, the Bulls 42. Scottie Pippen with a hot hand, 9 of his 11 points here in the second quarter. Shot clock at 5. Kerr for 3. Yes. Steve Kerr among the leaders in three-point shooting. Cuts it to a 2-point Indiana lead.
Well, as long as Steve hangs around beyond that three-point arc, he will eventually get some open shots because the defense all starts looking at Jordan and Pippen.
Wayne Farrell is getting the playing time here in the first half, coming up short. 4 on 3 for the Bulls. Pippen going glass. Rebounded by Rodman. Rare inside move by Dennis Rodman. Kukoc with the save, but handled by Jackson. 4 on 2 for the Pacers. Davis. Offensive foul. It was a charge on Dale Davis.
Well, a very late call. Larry Brown up, not liking it, as he felt that Scottie Pippen too far underneath the basket here as Dale Davis makes up his mind. And the hard collision between Davis and Pippen, and I thought Scottie Pippen was too far underneath the basket there. Should have been that non-call, which we saw earlier in the ballgame when Bill Wennington was involved.
Indiana has led by as many as 10. It's now a 2-point lead. Good old feed. Kukoc from Jordan. And the game is tied at 47.
Well, the inability of the Pacer defense to keep Michael Jordan out of the lane. Once he gets in there, everything funnels in, and that's where they get open shots. And it's not an easy thing to do. To do it, you have to back way off of Michael Jordan and give him open shots. They're just picked up by a big man, Antonio Davis. Nothing he can do. And now you draw Davis and the other Davis, and that leaves Tony Kukoc all alone for the lay-in.
Both teams over the foul limit. Hand-checking call against Kerr, putting Jackson at the line. The Bulls in the midst of a 14-6 run. Mark Jackson on the line for the first time in his 9th year out of St. John. Spent 5 years with the New York Knicks. Rookie of the Year back in 87-88. Traded to the LA Clippers in a deal involving Charles Smith and Doc Rivers. This is second year with the Pacers. He played for Larry Brown with the Clippers. And Mark playing with a severely sprained right ankle. Although he, like several of his teammates, able to hang in despite the nagging injury. We are down to 45 seconds left in the half. Game time at 47. Pippen faking the jumper and now gets it off. Rebound Kukoc, but a loose ball foul on the Pacers, and the Bulls will go to the line. Antonio Davis called for the push.
Well, it's interesting to see how the Pacers do their work on the offensive board. They do it with height and bulk. At the other end, the Chicago Bulls do it with the quickness of a Dennis Rodman, a Scottie Pippen, and Tony Kukoc, just so active and very hard to get your body on.
Dennis Rodman telling us yesterday that he's been very upset with his recent free throw shooting. Only 56% at all from the line, but he converted that one with a beautiful stroke. Bulls lead for the first time. Kerr for three. And the rebound handled by Pippen. Jordan for three. Yes! The Bulls 51. The Pacers 47. So the Bulls have come from behind, now lead by 4. Indiana holding for a final shot of the half. Coming up at halftime, Bob Costas in a chat with Chicago Bulls head coach Phil Jackson. Coming up on the Prudential halftime report. Miller forcing and fouled by Pippen. So Pippen with his first, and it'll be 3 shots for Reggie Miller as he attempted it from three-point range.
And keep your eye on Reggie Miller's right leg here as Pippen goes by. Reggie Miller just sticks that right leg out to create contact, something he's been doing for a number of years in the NBA. The old world be free Doug Collins move on long jump shots, and Reggie got away with it that time. I have seen officials sometimes call that an offensive foul when you stick your leg out.
Reggie, one of the best free throw shooters in the NBA, at 86% at the line. Phil Jackson taking a 20-second timeout, and now a technical foul called on the Bulls. Nolan Fine calling it on Michael Jordan. Apparently Michael had something to say.
Well, no doubt about Reggie sticking his leg out there, probably saying to the official, you ought to know that that's what he does in that situation. Unhappy with that particular call to give up the free throws.
High-point men in the first half. Jordan with 20, Pippen 11. Smith's leading Indiana with 10. Little stare down by Jordan, then had something to say as he heads back to the Bulls bench. Continued the conversation, and Nolan Fine saying that's enough.
It looked like Michael was directing his remarks to Bernie Fryer, who was already at the other end in the baseline, but Nolan Fine from behind. I don't know how he read lips, but he was able to hear something.
Kind of a forgiving look at Michael Jordan as he heads back. Quick recovery in terms of mentality. 51-49, Bulls, 6 and 6/10 seconds to go in this first half. So Reggie Miller hitting on all 3, 7 of 7 at the line. Final seconds of this first half. Jordan having trouble getting across. Good pressure. Finds Pippen. Gets it on. The tip by Rodman. Dennis Rodman with the tip to beat the buzzer. 16 rebounds for Rodman. So the basket counts. What a play by Rodman.
Well, a lot of things happened there with right around 2 seconds to go when Pippen released that shot. But Dennis Rodman, who anticipates everything to be a miss, goes to the glass at every opportunity and gets rewarded here.
So the Bulls with a 2-point lead. Coming up in a moment, Bob Costas, the doctor, Julius Erving, and Peter Vesey with the Prudential halftime report. We'll be back after these words. Chicago Bulls gunning for win number 46. They come in at 45-5. The Pacers at 32-18. Indiana has lost 3 of its last 4. Chicago with 4 straight wins after the 2 losses on the road.
Well, one of the things playing against the Bulls you always have to be ready for, and you talk about it at halftime, is be ready for the Bulls rush at the start of the third quarter. Their defense always seems to pick up a little bit more, always a little bit more aggressive in pushing the ball down the floor, getting transition basket. But as Larry pointed out to Ahmad, first of all, the Pacers have to do a much better job on the backboards, not give so many second shots up, and they've got to get somebody else involved. They got Antonio Davis involved offensively in that second quarter with Rick Smits and Reggie Miller right around double figures, and a very disappointing first half by Derek McKee. 0 for 2 from the field, 0 for 2 from the line.
McKee played only 8 minutes in the first half. A look at the scoring totals. The Chicago Bulls led by Michael Jordan. 21 minutes, 7 of 16 from the field. Not doing it from the outside, though. Only 2 of 9 from the perimeter. Scottie Pippen came on with 9 of his 11 in the second quarter. Reggie Miller still not finding the shots, but 11 for the most part from the line. He was 7 of 7 from the line. Rick Smits with 10, but Smits with 3 fouls. Back on the floor, Rick Smits and Bill Wennington, the matchup at center. Here's Jordan shaking off Miller, and then got himself trapped underneath the backboard.
Michael had nowhere to go, and that got too far underneath and actually got his shot blocked or pass blocked at the underneath side of the backboard.
Smits facing the double team. Jackson from McKee, and the easy hoop from McKee.
Well, that's one way to get involved. Just hang around and wait for one of your teammates to penetrate. And Mark Jackson has to do more of that right now because it's so hard to execute against the Bulls with your set plays. They put too much pressure on the ball.
Pippen for 3. Scottie Pippen with his second from downtown. And the Bulls now lead 56-53. Michael Jordan opening defensively against Mark Jackson. Smits. Crowd looking for a foul. Here's Jordan deciding to regroup. Open shot for Hoffer. That was a 3-point attempt. Smits with the rebound. Miller. A runner by Reggie Miller. And Dennis Rodman with rebound number 17. Leads the NBA, averaging better than 15 per game. His season high is 23. His career high is 34.
Trouble for Jackson with Jordan posting up. He's going to have to get some help.
Jordan way off. Just got a piece of the glass. Jackson accelerated and then pushed it off. Miller with the tip. So the Pacers trail by 1. And Pippen calling out the play. Shot clock at 7. And Pippen for the foul. Scottie Pippen will go to the line.
Well, Michael appeared to have Mark Jackson in trouble, but let him off the hook by taking the fadeaway jump shot, and a wild one at that. And the Pacers have to do more of this. Every time they get the opportunity to get a fast break, get in transition, they have to do it. It's too hard to play half-court offense against a tough defensive team like the Chicago Bulls. And the Pacers are a much better team when they run the ball up the floor. They do it quite a bit here at Market Square Arena. Don't do it as much on the road.
Scottie Pippen 3 of 4 at the line. He was fouled by McKee. So McKee and Smits each with 3. Bulls 58 and the Pacers 55. Michael Jordan ball hawking against Mark Jackson. McKee played by Pippen. Shot clock at 5. Miller blocked. And the 3-point attempt blocked by Hoffer.
And it looked like Michael Jordan was complaining again that once again Reggie stuck out the leg to try to draw the foul. Penetration by Mark Jackson. And once again, you just saw Reggie Miller stick that leg out to try to draw the foul. Did not get the call this time.
Out of 3 on the 24-second clock. Broken up by Wennington. The shot clock showing 1.
This is an example of the stifling defense of the Bulls right now, making it very tough for the Pacers to get any kind of clean shot.
McKee with the inbounds to Jackson. He caught Jordan with his head down.
And not so stifling there. Scottie Pippen backed off and took off the pressure on the ball. It's a lot easier to throw the lob pass with no pressure.
Michael Jordan not looking. And it cost. Here is Wennington. Bulls 60. And the Pacers 57. 3 minutes in. Third quarter. Third meeting of the season between these two teams. They split the first two. Indiana beating Chicago here in late December. Jackson for McKee. Three-point attempt. Well, Derek McKee showing some signs. He's tied the game at 60. Now Jordan setting it up. Played by Miller. Pippen. Double team. Shot clock at 5. Crowd looking for a travel. Shot clock down to 2. It's down to 1. 3 seconds. Violation called on Rodman.
Well, you just don't expect Mark Jackson to post up Michael Jordan, but in this situation, 1 second on the shot clock, that's exactly what Mark Jackson did. And no pressure on the ball by Scottie Pippen. Actually, a miscommunication defensively between Jordan and Pippen, enabling the easy basket for Jackson. Good pass, however.
Jackson trying to throw the lead to Dale Davis. Pippen with a 3-on-2. Harper called for the travel.
Well, on the catch, Ron Harper realized he was too far away from the basket, didn't feel comfortable with the dribble, and tried to hop, step, and a jump.
Dale Davis taking it to the basket. Took a shot from Dennis Rodman. That is 3 on Rodman. How about Dennis Rodman the other night against Detroit? 14 offensive rebounds. That tied Joe Smith, the outstanding rookie of the Golden State Warriors, for most offensive rebounds in a game this season.
And he was incredible coming down the stretch of that Detroit game in regulation, just getting every loose ball, every loose rebound, and finally the putback to send it into overtime.
Dale Davis, only a 49% free throw shooter, hit 1 of 2. Pippen got the step and the bucket. Scottie Pippen turning it around, starting in the second quarter. He now has 8, and the Bulls lead by 1.
A good defender, Derek McKee, second team all defense last year, but trying to put pressure on a quick ball handler like Pippen at midcourt. If you don't do it, that's what happens. Open spaces, easy shots.
Off the double team, Pippen with the steal. Pippen all the way. Scottie Pippen with Jordan running down on the other side is able to take it to the hoop to get the Bulls a 64-61 advantage. And Chicago doing it with the fast break. Foul is called. Smits and Weddington got involved. It's on Weddington. That is number 4.
Well, Derek McKee getting caught out of position, tried the little matador wraparound, and then trouble for anybody that's behind him. And then Scottie Pippen so quick off the ball, reading passing lanes, knifing in, and then the finish against McKee.
And for Pippen, his 3rd steal of the game.
There was a special taping yesterday for the Reggie Miller Show with our own Marv Albert. It just could be an Emmy Award winner. Marv hanging around with Dennis Rodman and Reggie Miller.
You know, I said no cameras.
Sorry. All right. Look, what's up? They brought Buddha for the advice. This is what.
I think Madonna has a new relationship right now, and it was a close relationship in the beginning, but I think it fizzled out because we was going in different directions.
My next guest is the man behind the famous yes, the voice of the NBA's hottest games, Marv Albert, everybody.
So nice to see Dennis Rodman here. I know everybody here was delighted to see Dennis. But for me, it was a little uneasy because just coming up, you know, coming in contact with Dennis in the green room, we're dating the same women.
Now, Matt, I told Reggie if he plays his cards right, I can line you up as a guest for a future show.
I would love to be on with Reggie. Looked like you took over that show, however.
No. Dennis was just wheeling and dealing in the early portion. That is on the NBC affiliate here in Indianapolis, and I'm told we'll be seen next Saturday night. Off the strip attempt. A foul is called. We have 6:58 remaining in this third quarter, and the Bulls lead by 3. Scottie Pippen collecting his second, and again Dale Davis at the line. He was 1 for 2 just a moment ago. Dale Davis bothered by a sore neck the past couple of weeks. Last year had the fine touch by Dale.
Buda Edwards turned around in disbelief, and Scottie Pippen just laughed.
That time he tried to go front rim. Perhaps he should go back to the backboard.
Stay with what's working.
2-point Chicago lead. Rodman with Edwards and Pippen up front. Jordan and Hopper at the guards. Here's Jordan for 3. Yes! A line drive, 3-point shot by Michael Jordan. That's his 3rd from downtown. The Bulls are up 67-62. 23 points for Jordan. Smith's broken up by Edwards. Rick Smith's getting the good position, but Edwards able to step out to knock it aside. We have 9 on the 24. 40-year-old James Edwards in his 19th NBA season, getting the time this afternoon. Shot clock at 5. Jackson on the spin. McKee. Pippen looking to draw it. He did.
Marv, that's experience, and such a good defensive player that Scottie Pippen is, and reads the scouting report. Derek McKee likes to go to his left from this position, and Scottie anticipating and just beating him to the spot, as Derek McKee has tried to get more involved offensively at the start of this third quarter and put in a couple of hoops, but Scottie Pippen shutting him down there.
That is number 4 on McKee. Ferrella's back. Pippen on the ricochet. It is Miller entangling with Hopper, and a loose ball foul on Hopper. Indiana spending much time at the foul line today, although this is a non-shooting affair. Dale Davis took a poke in the eye.
Well, this ball got punched, ticked, everybody going for it, everybody slapping around. Dennis Rodman ran right through it. And in the melee underneath the basket, Davis getting hurt.
Very quickly, Matt, the Bulls have collected their 4th team foul. Miller! That's the first time he's had the good look, and we saw the good stroke.
And it really wasn't that wide open look as Ron Harper very close to him.
2-point Chicago lead. Pippen. Rebound Ferrell. Reggie Miller, that was his first 3-pointer. Nice entry pass and it drew the foul. Antonio Davis getting the possession. So he's headed to the foul line. Foul committed by Edwards.
And so far, the Pacers have withheld the Bulls' rush in this third quarter. And I know Phil Jackson has been saying recently that that's one of the areas that he's been a little bit disappointed. He said in our championship years, this was a hallmark of our team. We came out and put pressure on teams, used our press. Horace Grant up in the front, in the backcourt, creating havoc, and we're able to take over games in the third quarter. So we haven't done it that much this season. Usually the Bulls have to wait to the fourth quarter when they've been behind.
Buck Jackson departing. Best, who played 5 minutes in the first half, has come on. Best try to save it. Deflected, out of bounds. Bulls have a 1-point lead, and they're back in possession as we come up on 5 minutes left in the third quarter. Hopper guarded by Best. Jordan played by Miller. Edwards. Rodman taken down. Foul committed by Antonio Davis. Rodman upset. That is 2 on Antonio Davis.
And Michael Jordan very quick to get over and grab a hold of Dennis Rodman, not letting him get involved in any extracurriculars with people on the floor or on the bench. But Antonio Davis doing what he can to keep Rodman off the boards, and Rodman's so clever, getting his arms all locked up with Antonio Davis.
And as Jordan starts his drive, he was held by Best.
3 team fouls on the face.
So that is team foul number 3 on Indiana. Dennis Rodman, 19 rebounds with much time remaining. His season high 23. The NBA season high 28 by Popeye Jones of the Dallas Mavericks. Jordan setting up with a back dribble met by Smits. Rodman able to gather it in for number 20. Unbelievable in getting to the ball.
Against another good defender, Dwayne Farrell, and very careful not to pick up the foul over the top. Just getting in there and establishing his position, putting his body on Farrell, holding him there without pushing off. Rebounding is an absolute art for Dennis Rodman.
Timeout called by the Bulls with 4:36 left, third quarter. Well, it has been another superb ball game for Dennis Rodman. 20 rebounds on his way to a 5th straight NBA rebounding title.
And Dennis is becoming more and more aware of when shots are going up. You saw that time starting to come in from the weak side, and I guess he knows every time that Jordan or Pippen have it, a shot is going up. There, Russell and Chamberlain, prolific rebounders. What makes it so interesting is Dennis Rodman has to deal with less shots.
Michael Jordan on the reverse. And the Bulls lead by 3. .4:15 remaining, third quarter. Antonio Davis pulling his way. He's 4 of 5. He has 11 points in all, and it's Chicago by 1.
And all Antonio Davis is doing is establishing position, getting as tight to the lane as possible, and shows the vulnerability of the Bulls' inside defense.
Now, these two clubs match up so well. They split their earlier meetings with Indiana beating the Bulls here. Off the steal, Jordan took a shot, and the foul called on Miller. And Michael took it in his mouth. He may not be appearing on the Reggie Miller show in the near future.
Here's what we were talking a little about in the first half. Coming out of the backcourt, either bringing the ball inbounds or outlet passes, Jordan and Pippen. So alert, always ready to step into the passing lane for the steal. You have to really take care of the basketball when those two are around.
3 steals apiece for Jordan and Pippen. Chicago with 7 in all. Michael with the spin and foul. Antonio Davis and Rick Smits came over to help. And Jordan will go to the line. Foul on Smits for his 4th.
Well, Michael had said he would try to put more pressure on Reggie Miller, not just settle for the jump shot. Here he spins on Miller to get inside and then draws the big man. Knew he was in trouble, so just banged his body inside to get the foul.
He's 5 of 5 at the line. Adrian Caldwell is back, replacing Rick Smits. 10 points for Smits. All the points in the first half, but he's on the bench with 4 fouls. Adrian Caldwell goes 6'9", a wide-bodied 265 pounds in his 4th NBA season with out of Lamar. He spent part of 3 years with the Houston Rockets, saw some time in the CBA. Bulls 71 of the Pacers 68. 3.5 left in the third. Travis Best now operating against Steve Kerr. Miller played by Pippen. Shot clock at 7 as Best got it off. Pippen on the rebound. Now Jordan posting up. He has Best on him. Tony Kukoc taking advantage of Travis Best. Shooting over the 5'11" Best.
Well, Best couldn't run, couldn't hide. He just kept getting a bigger player. As a matter of fact, every player out on the floor is bigger, but he should have an advantage working against Steve Kerr at the offensive end if he'll try to drive him.
5-point Chicago lead is their biggest lead of the game. Best with a shake and bake, but Kerr did not go for it. And then the Pacers turn it over. Check in with Ahmad Rashad. Ahmad?
All right, Marv, Dale Davis suffered a bruised nose. He got hit with an inadvertent elbow from his teammate Rick Smits. It was bleeding. David Craig took him back in the locker room. They're applying ice to it, and he will be available to play as soon as they stop the bleeding. Marv?
All right, thank you, Ahmad. 2.5 remaining. Third quarter. Chicago with the ball and a 5-point lead. Good coach. Pitching out for Jordan. Yes. 29 for Michael Jordan. But that has been only part of the story. Also, 7 assists and 3 steals. 75-68 Chicago. Antonio Davis was pushed. Foul committed by Dennis Rodman.
Scotty Pippen draws his third personal.
Tony Kukoc, who has been offensive-minded ever since this game started, he can get into the lane, and that draws everybody away, even from Michael Jordan, and that's been about the best play for both teams. Penetration into the lane, have the defense collapse, and that's how you get open looks, and that's what you have to do against tough half-court defensive teams, which both of these teams are.
That last foul on Pippen, not Rodman.
Eddie Johnson.
Change in the scoring. Eddie Johnson, who has not played much today, missed the previous game with the sore back. Coming back on, replacing Adrian Caldwell.
Well, Antonio Davis has served as the third scorer, if you will, for the Pacers, where Derek McKee, other than a brief flash at the start of the third quarter, but Miller and Smits are the 2 guys that have to carry the offensive load for the Pacers.
Antonio Davis with 13 points, averages 9 a game. Jordan through the foul, put the move on Pierce. Very difficult matchup for Ricky Pierce, among others around the NBA. And Jordan back to the line. The Chicago Bulls spending much time on the road in this month of February. Out of their 14 games this month, 10 are away from home. Tuesday they are back home, though, for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Cavs making it 7 straight wins with a victory over the Sixers last night. They're only 2.5 games behind the Pacers. And then Thursday, Chicago will play at Atlanta. Friday in Miami. And then next Sunday, a game will be bringing you here on NBC. It's the Bulls and the Orlando Magic from Chicago. Pacers will be home for Orlando on Wednesday in the midst of a 3-game homestand. 1:40 left, third quarter. Here's Pierce.
Well, that's Ricky Pierce's game, and if he's going to get beat up at the defensive end, you have to give him the ball at the offensive end to try to score. One of the toughest one-on-one players in the NBA for a lot of years.
Bulls lead 77-72. Jordan tried to slash his way through. Pierce met by Pippen. Best now being played by Kukoc. And he shoots over. Comes up short. Oh, the save. What a play by Rodman. Kerr. Rebounded by Antonio Davis. Just under a minute to go in this third quarter. Kukoc took it away from Best. Travis Best having some problems here in the third quarter.
Some shaky moments. He's making some what you would call rookie mistakes, settling for perimeter shots, careless with the ball, and really it's tough for rookies in this kind of setting.
Open 3 for Pippen. Scottie Pippen knocks it down. He has 23 points. And the Bulls now lead 80-72. Pippen 3 of 6 from downtown. 20 seconds left in the third. And Best setting up against Kerr. Shot clock at 5. Shot clock at 2. And the foul committed by Kerr with 8 seconds remaining in the quarters.
Well, Dennis Rodman has been relentless all afternoon, going for loose balls, going for rebounds. Here diving headlong to save another ball for the Chicago Bulls. And of course, when he does that on his home floor at the United Center, it really gets the crowd involved. They love that kind of extra effort.
21 rebounds for Rodman, coming off 19 against the Timberwolves on Friday night. Ricky Miller returns, replacing Eddie Johnson.
Travis Best has had his problems, but on the other hand, he really hasn't gotten some good situations at the offensive end, like a screen roll on the side of the floor or maybe a clear side where he could try to take Steve Kerr off the dribble. A couple of times that he did, however, Steve Kerr did a nice job of sealing him off.
Bulls lead by 6. 8 4/10 seconds to go in the third. Rodman could not find anyone and takes a timeout. Calling for the 22nd timeout. Well, the Indiana Pacers with the early lead, led by as many as 10. Michael Jordan helping to turn things around late first quarter, and then leading the way along with Scottie Pippen to give the Bulls their first lead, and they now have a 6-point advantage. A reminder coming up next here on NBC, Game 2 of our NBA doubleheader. Most of you will see a battle of two of the NBA's best big men, Hakeem Olajuwon and the world champion Rockets, in San Antonio at the Alamo Dome to go up against the Admiral, David Robinson, and the Spurs. Some of you will see the Bucks and the Hornets. Game 2 is next right here on NBC. Spurs have won 2 of 3 on the season against the Rockets. Down to 2 as Pippen fires and hits. Another three-pointer for Scottie Pippen. The pass intended for Pharrell is broken up. Pippen again, this time from center court. Trying from all angles. So Pippen with 26 points and extends to a 9-point Chicago lead. And here is another look.
Well, Scottie Pippen going almost coast to coast, had to veer off to beyond the three-point arc and had to take that shot under a lot of pressure. But he's saying, hey, nothing to it.
And this represents the biggest lead of the game for the Bulls. The high man is Michael Jordan with 31. Scottie Pippen is 26. 21 rebounds for Dennis Rodman. We'll be back after this from your local station. Back to Indiana, fourth quarter getting underway. That's Marshall Faulk of the Indianapolis Colts helping us on the camera, pretending that he really knows what he's doing. Look at that studious look. Thank you so much.
And he's waving to you, Mark.
Yes. Thank you, Marshall.
Well, Larry Brown's team took care of the rebounding problems that they had in the first half, did a good job in the third quarter, but had no answer for Scottie Pippen, who scored 15 points in that third quarter.
Here's Smits. Nice setup from Best. Silas Best getting the ball to Rick Smits. So this fourth quarter underway, and the Bulls now lead by 7. Wellington is back. Michael Jordan sitting down, getting a rest. Kerr and Scottie Pippen on the floor, along with Kukoc, Rodman, and Wellington, and he is on fire. 28 for Pippen. 9-point Chicago lead. Larry Brown staying with Best and Pierce in the backcourt. Smits with McKee and Johnson up front. Here's Smits going at Wellington. McKee over Rodman. Derek McKee, who has been quiet, now has 7. Bulls 85, and the Pacers 78. And Bernie Fryer making the call along the baseline, a holding foul against the Bulls. Check that against the Pacers. It's on Pierce. His second. And Ricky Pierce sits down. Mark Jackson is back.
Mark Jackson and Richie Miller back.
5 points for Pierce. Pippen guarded by Miller. Kukoc. And the ball back to the Pacers.
Well, Rick Smits has been getting good scoring opportunities here to start the fourth quarter, but he seems to be roughing things. He's not getting double teamed. All he has to do is take his time and measure his shot, and he'll be able to score against the inside of the Bulls.
Good position for Smits. And deflected out by Chicago. The outside official, Bernie Fryer, with the call. Not appreciated by the Bulls. New 24 for Indiana.
The Bulls thought they would have Luke Longley back for this game after missing a number of games. Now it looks like they'll have him back Tuesday against Cleveland.
Jackson on the drive. Jackson with his third field goal. He has 7 points, along with 5 assists. And the crowd now urging the Pacers on as they cut it to 5. Pippen. Scottie Pippen for the foul. Basket won't count. Pippen flying in front of the Indiana cheerleaders, was pushed by McKee. Derek McKee called for his 5th, and a timeout is taken. You are watching the NBA on NBC.
Miller, where great taste runs in the family, brings you Miller Moments.
Today we'll look back at Dennis Rodman's best rebounding game, which took place March 4th, 1992 against the Pacers, and he set a Detroit Pistons team record with 34 rebounds as they beat the Pacers in overtime, 110-107. His 18 offensive, 16 defensive boards broke a team record held for 20 years by Bob Lanier. In recognition of that moment, the Miller Brewing Company will donate $1,000 to the Thurgood Marshall Scholarship Fund. No NBA player has been part of more wins the last 7 years than Dennis Rodman, who has, it seems, brought success to whatever team he has been with.
Well, no question about it, Mark, but he's also been blessed to have terrific players surrounding him. Dennis Rodman, I should say David Robinson, the last year, and of course the Detroit Pistons with Isaiah, Benny Johnson, Joe Dumars, Bill Lambier, terrific Detroit ball club that won a couple of championships, but there's no question Dennis Rodman has been a catalyst with the success of all those teams.
Certainly he's had pretty good people with him, but when he is at his best and when he wants to play, he lifts the club even further. And that has been the case with the Chicago Bulls. Might have been the case with the San Antonio Spurs.
Oh, there's no question he wants to play. He wants to play all 48 minutes.
Bulls lead 87-80. 9.5 remaining in the 4th quarter. Jackson on a spin. Well, that is what Mark Jackson calls the teardrop. First time we've seen it here today. 5-point Chicago lead. The steal by Jackson. Jackson on the drive. And Rodman with rebound number 22. Weddington getting possession. Kerr, then on a switch. Finding the open Weddington. Rebound Jackson. Jackson all over the floor. Miller over the floor and through the foul. Foul committed by Pippen.
Well, Mark Jackson trying to lift his ball club in any way he can. He senses the moment right now that the Pacers have to make a move. Nice spin move on Scottie Pippen and the soft little shot, and then the steal and going coast to coast, but just unable to get the roll as he was pressured by Tony Kukoc, just forcing that miss.
Scottie Pippen called for his 4th. Reggie hurt his hand. He is 7 of 7 at the line.
Well, Reggie Miller getting the throw ahead from Mark Jackson, and all Reggie is thinking here is get fouled, just trying to draw contact. He knew he was not going to get a clean look or an easy shot at the basket, and may have forced too much contact on himself. At the end of the Washington Bull game the other night in Baltimore, Reggie took a hard hit, ran into the basket standard, knocked the wind, had the wind knocked out of him. No timeouts left, had to go up and make 1 out of 2 to win the game for Indiana.
Well, a nice long rest for Michael Jordan as he steps back on with 8:52 remaining in the 4th quarter. So the Chicago lead is now 3 points. Hopper and Jordan at the guard. Rodman, Kukoc, Weddington up front. Scottie Pippen sitting down. Shot clock down to 6. second violation. Called on Rodman again.
All the way from the other side of the floor, called by referee Hugh Evans, who was right in front of the Indiana Pacer bench, and Dennis Rodman on the other side of the floor, on the weak side, saying, hey, I do that all the time. I look like I'm leaving the lane, but I really don't.
Rick Smits sitting down. Larry Brown protecting the foul situation. Oh, it's tipped home. Dale Davis handling the shot by Miller that went short. Miller now hobbling as the Bulls set up. Jordan, yes! And the Bulls now lead 89-86. Reggie Miller suffered that sprained ankle earlier this week in the first of the home-and-home against the New Jersey Nets. Hobbled to the sideline.
And actually, they thought he was going to be out for a while. Came back the next night against the New Jersey to not only play, but play well and score 34 points.
Now the full timeout taken by the Pacers.
Well, Reggie trying to get something going. Only his 9th shot of the game, taking the shot under pressure and coming down with that sore right ankle right on the foot of Dennis Rodman.
And as we mentioned this past Tuesday against the Nets, Reggie Miller on this play trying to brush off the pick. Hurt the right ankle. Reggie Miller hobbled over to the Indiana bench. Larry Brown had to pull Miller in a 3-point game with just under 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Bulls up 89-86. Shot clock at 5. Jackson for 3. And here's Ron Harper handling. Scottie Pippen is back. Playing with the 4 fouls. Michael Jordan for Tony Kukoc. 3-point attempt. Johnson. Reggie Miller getting set to check back in. The defensive work by Antonio Davis. Kukoc fouled by Eddie Johnson. Eddie Johnson with his first. Reggie Miller is back. And for more on the story, let's go to Ahmad.
Marv, it's exactly the same ankle that he hurt a few nights ago. He just came over a strong twinge of pain. He walked it off, and he is back in the game now. Marv?
Thank you, Ahmad. 5 minutes gone by in the fourth quarter. And a 3-point Chicago lead. Jordan spinning Miller.
Well, the Bulls not wasting any time to see how mobile Reggie Miller was. Not so, as Jordan easily beat him on the baseline.
35 points for Michael Jordan. And the Bulls lead 91-86. Miller for Jackson. Open shot for Johnson has been way off. Eddie Johnson 0 for 3.
And he's capable of being as streaky a shooter as you'll find. He's streaky right now in the wrong direction right now, putting up an air ball.
Five on the 24. Tipped home. Scottie Pippen was right there. And it was Pippen. He now has 32. Bulls lead 93-86. Chicago trying to make it 46-5. Running for their 5th straight win. Indiana Pacers coming at 32-18. Jackson for 3. Antonio Davis trying to keep it alive. Could not.
But a good job by Bill Wennington not to give up on the play. Tried to block out. Antonio Davis just kept flailing his arms and able to tip it over to Pippen.
And Jordan again goes right at Miller. The tip by Jordan. Johnson with the rebound. Miller for 3. Reggie Miller. Although bothered by the sprained right ankle, in fact, Clark continues to show the pain, but still able to bury the shot from the corner.
Well, when you have ankle problems, it's really going to hurt you defensively. Just not able to move, and the offensive player knows where he's going to go as Jordan easily sheds Reggie Miller. Not running smoothly at all. But the one thing he can do is get himself open and knock down that three.
So the Bulls lead by 4.
Ahmad Rashad back at Market Square Arena. Michael Jordan just suffered a bump on the knee. Hit knees with another player. They were putting ice on it. Right here as he comes down, he suffered this knees sort of bang, and they put a little ice on it afterwards. I know he has been suffering with some tendonitis. Ices his knees before the game, but this was something from that just injury. Marv?
Apparently the knee is just fine as Jordan is able to sweep and hit off glass to give the Bulls a 95-89 lead. Michael Jordan has been bothered by a sore knee. In fact, his teammate Scottie Pippen has too, both missing practice earlier this week. Jordan off the steal. McKee is back. He slices his way through and hits. Michael Jordan with 39 points, and the Bulls lead 97-89.
Isn't it amazing how these bumps and bruises all get well at the offensive end?
Well, we saw Reggie Miller hobble his way to the corner and then hit a three-point shot. Here's McKee for three. Donovan with the rebound. Larry Brown, though, has pulled Reggie Miller. Reggie over at the bench. The Indiana trainer David Craig is checking him out. Jordan, yes. 41 points for Michael Jordan. And the Pacers will talk it over. 4:01 left in the third, and the Bulls lead by 10. Well, 4 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter, and the Bulls lead the Pacers by 10. Jackson able to hit and drew the foul. Indiana looking for a quick basket after the timeout, and they get it. Now on Weddington, his fifth. Here's Reggie Miller back in.
Well, Steve Kerr into the lineup right now, had been resting a while with Ron Harper in there. Normally Steve Kerr finishes the whole fourth quarter, and having his problems defensively of late against the quick penetrators as Jackson was able to go by him.
Three-point play for Mark Jackson. So the lead is now 7. The Bulls led by Michael Jordan, who has scored 41. The high for the year in the NBA, 51 by Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, Karl Malone, and Hakeem Olajuwon, each with 51-point games. Pippen, played by McKee. Weddington, shot clock running out. Weddington, Bulls wanted a goal pass. Here's McKee. Setting up Miller for three. Smits back for Miller for three. Yes! It is a 4-point Chicago lead with 3:18 remaining. Fourth quarter.
Michael Jordan gambled that time, released on the jump shot, and got burned on it as Reggie Miller got it back.
6-0 run by the Pacers. They double up. They triple team Jordan. Pippen, nice fake. Oh, Scottie Pippen with a beautiful move. He has 34, Bulls 101, and the Pacers 95. A furious finish here at Market Square Arena. Indiana led most of the way in the first half, leading by as many as 10, but Chicago in command, taking command in the third quarter. Pippen with the steal. Kerr back for Pippen, ball fake, and then he hits and draws the foul. The crowd looking for the charge against Pippen.
All set up with the aggressive double team of Rick Smits, who didn't use his body well through the cross-court pass. Good patience by Steve Kerr to draw the defender and wait for the athletic Scottie Pippen, who just took it right into the face of Derek McKee.
And for McKee, that is number 6. So Derek McKee is fouled out. 7 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists. Ricky Pierce will come on for McKee. And Pippen to the line. Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan. 36 for Pippen, 41 for Jordan. And the Bulls now lead by 9. .2:15 remaining in this fourth quarter. Rodman battling his teammate Pippen for the rebound. Scottie Pippen has 10 rebounds. Jordan through the foul. Michael Jordan with a circus attempt. Foul by Dale Davis. So Jordan to the line. He is 8 for 8 at the line.
Well, nothing cautious, nothing tentative on the part of Michael Jordan, sensing he can put this game away, just challenging everybody on the Pacers, taking the ball to the rim, and at least getting to the foul line. But that last defensive sequence, terrific job by Dennis Rodman to help out Steve Kerr to get the ball out of the hands of Mark Jackson and break up the timing and the rhythm of the Pacer offense.
Tony Kukoc returning. Michael Jordan, along with the 41 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds, and 3 steals. His high for this season, 48. He now has 42. We come up on 2 minutes left in this fourth quarter. Jackson strip. And the officials checking with each other. Nolan Fine, who claims to have the better view, is saying that it was kicked out last touch off the thigh of Jackson. And that is the call.
And a good call. Not really much of an argument on the part of Mark Jackson. He's asking Nolan Fine a little bit right now. He thought he got fouled on the play, but the ball definitely did go off the leg and knee of Mark Jackson.
Scottie Pippen is tied a season high with 37. He also has 10 rebounds, 5 steals. Jordan with a spectacular move. Michael Jordan with 44, minute and a half to go in this fourth quarter. Here's Pierce. It's a 3 for Pierce. And the Bulls now lead 107-98. The Bulls gunning for their 5th straight win, trying to make it a record of 46-5. Shot clock at 5. Pippen. Oh! Scottie Pippen with 39 points. So Jordan and Pippen have combined for 83 of the 109 Chicago points. Dale Davis getting inside. 109-100 with just under a minute remaining in this fourth quarter.
And in this situation, the Bulls just able to spread the floor, make that defense get nice and wide. That opens up driving lanes, and Pippen and Jordan just take care of the rest.
Scottie Pippen with 39, Michael Jordan with 44. Pippen obviously with a shot for 40. We're trying to check the record books. Matt, can you recall, as we watch the move by Michael, a situation where a team had 2 players scoring 40 or more? That is incredible.
I think it happened way back when. Elgin Baylor and Jerry West, I think, did it a couple of times, but you don't see it often.
And Pippen looking for number 40. So it is a season high for Scottie Pippen. Michael Jordan 4 points shy of his season high. An enormous performance by the 2 All-Stars, Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. Dale Davis cuts it to an 8-point lead. The steal by Jackson. Down to 25 seconds. Kukoc gets it back. And Jordan in the open floor decides to pull it back. Being played by Dale Davis. And running it down. The Chicago Bulls will make it 23-5 on the road. 46-5 for the season. while the Pacers dropped their 4th in the last 5 games. Jordan runs out the clock. The Bulls 110 and the Pacers 102. So the Bulls make it 2 of 3 on the season against Indiana. 16 of 29 for Jordan. 44 points in 42 minutes. 40 points for Pippen, 23 rebounds for Rodman. Let's go to Ahmad with Michael Jordan.
All right, thanks. All right, thanks, Marv. Michael, first of all, happy birthday and a wonderful performance on your birthday. One of the things that we had talked about, you guys not being able to close teams out in the 4th quarter. Didn't happen today.
I think we came in focused to play a full game, not 3/4 of a game. I think in the past, or the teams that we've been playing, we get a lead, then we fall asleep and let the team get back in, and then we fight our way down the stretch. Tonight, we realized we had a 10-point lead. We just wanted to close the game out right and do all the necessary things down the stretch, which is one of the things that we need practice with.
And playing against Indiana, I guess this was a statement sort of game.
Yeah, right now, I think these are the dog days, and every game that you play against these types of opponents, you're going to have to send a message or come out ready to play because they look at it as a message. So, we came in here ready to play and show that we can win here.
All right, enjoy the rest of your birthday. All right, back to you, Marv.
All right, Ahmad. Well, the Bulls showing they can handle the so-called dog days of February. 44 for Jordan, 40 for Pippen, 23 rebounds for Rodman in a magnificent effort by the Bulls. Final score, Bulls 110, Pacers 102. Stay tuned for the second half of our NBA on NBC doubleheader. The world champion Houston Rockets going up against the Spurs in San Antonio. Others will see the Bucks and the Hornets. Marv Albert with Matt Kukas and Ahmad Rashad saying so long from Indianapolis. You've been watching the NBA on NBC.